This is the Simpit. I'm your host, Sean Cole, and welcome to the Pitstop, where you are the real star of today's show, because we're here to talk about sim racing news. Once again, it's Monday morning, second week of January, and 2008 has kicked off with a lot going on. It's been a pretty exciting beginning to a year. Typically, things are very slow through the holidays, and they pick up as soon as the new year happens, but this year is going at quite a rate, and in a lot of different directions if you think about it. And if you've been a regular on this show and you see all the topics we talk about, man, it's really expanding at a rapid rate right now. A lot of new opportunities in sim racing, a lot of new fun to be had in sim racing, and it just gets better and better. So let's talk about what's going on today. Lots of news to talk about, actually, or not a lot of news. Yep, we got the red shirt today. The red logo shirt today is on. Thank you, John, for noticing. A little teaser for you guys there. Big story. We talked about it last week. The Chili Bowl coming to iRacing. That's a big deal. You can see they've already started their scan. So on their Twitter feed, they are posting pictures, images of what the scan looks like live as it happens. This is a big deal for, we talked about this again on Friday for American racing, for American dirt racing. The Chili Bowl is a very, very big deal. So, I was looking on the forums and reading up, and man, people are really excited about this. In addition to that, they're sponsoring 2 of the cars. So they're going to have, iRacing is going to have some really good presence at this race. And it's a big race. It's a televised race. And that should offer some additional exposure to iRacing as well. So, congratulations to them for getting very involved. Not only just getting the track and getting it scanned and all of that, but also the fact that they are sponsoring cars and getting their name out there and doing their end to grow iRacing, which is also, in turn, growing sim racing as a whole and getting people exposure to the sport. I'm going to call it a sport. Hi, Michael. Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here, everyone. And I'm glad you're here with us today. Isle of Man, it got bumped back. Oh, you see my Rudy message. You can't see that. That's a teaser. Isle of Man, they released another one of their bikes that are coming out. And this is my photo of the day. I'd like it to be a little bit higher resolution. What do I got here? I'm on 1080p. There it goes. It looks like it cleaned up on the buffering. I'm pretty excited about this game. I mean, motorcycling is obviously difficult to simulate with our controllers. Do you use a stick? Do you use a wheel? Do you use a keyboard? Do you use a controller? I'm not sure what is the most realistic. Do you put a bar across your wheel and do it like that, but it's still like that, not like that? And we don't turn a bike, we lean a bike. So, but I am going to admit, I'm very excited about this game coming out. It's one I'm looking forward to. It got pushed back to March of this year. So, hopefully, it will come through and be fun. I mean, the thing about, for me, is really the event itself. Isle of Man is the craziest motorsport event on Earth. I can't think of anything crazier, and some people might even call it dumb or stupid. It's so life-threatening that it's hardly a competition as much as just putting your balls on the line. So, but anyway, they had that teaser with a new bike to be seen, and just kind of gearing up. March is coming quickly all of a sudden. It seemed like a long way away when they announced their delay, but now it is really coming quickly. Next up, NASCAR. So NASCAR has 2 new fun games, a NASCAR Slots and a NASCAR Trivia Tournament. So, if you are looking to, the season's still a month and a half away, or 5 weeks away, mid-February. If you just can't get enough NASCAR, you're just waiting and waiting, you can get over there to NASCAR.com and check out their new trivia tournament. And tournament implies maybe you could win something or get acknowledged in NASCAR Slots. I'm assuming that is no different than regular. Oop, that didn't work. Their link didn't seem to work. But I know it's at NASCAR.com. Hello, Cy. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. Steam, yeah, it is. It's the craziest and deadliest track, getting back to Isle of Man. And if you've never watched this on TV or seen the highlights or anything, these guys are doing like 150, 200 miles an hour on city roads with no barriers. They are closed roads, so they at least have that going. But there are curbs, there are bumps, ditches, anything you would expect in a real-life road, not on a racetrack. And you see these guys just get sketchy on these things and coming off a little drop-offs and things, and their bikes are just wiggling and twitching, and it is insane. I mean, there are very few racers that I give credit for having more guts or being more daring than other disciplines, but this is the king of crazy. So I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in the best of ways. Tax time. Ours is in April, but yeah, it's coming. It's coming. Next up, a couple stories here from the GPVWC. This is one of the biggest leagues out there. I mean, you want to talk... I mean, Rudy Van Buren cut his teeth in this league. So we are talking one of the high-end, high-prestigious leagues out there. And they've announced their prize pool, 2,000 euros added to the pot. First place is going to score 600. Second place, 300. Third place, 100. And, you know, a little bit different than getting into the open world of iRacing, where by the time you get to their top level, you're pretty much running in a league. But this is a league, not an open tournament. But some big prize money coming to the GPVWC, and that's great to see. And we talk about the esports side of things. And you've heard me kind of touch upon this topic, but yeah, I love hearing that there's $500,000 or $1 million up for grabs, winner take all kind of thing from Visa. That's great. I love hearing about all these big one-off competitions. But what I'd really like to see, and this is the thing that'll be better for all of us, is more of these situations where it's at a lower, more manageable level, but maybe more across the board. So instead of having $1 million available winner take all, wouldn't it be great to see 50,000 here, there, and everywhere, and various different disciplines or tournaments or sims in order to get these prize-paying events, and maybe not even having to be in the one-off events, but seeing sim racing get to that professional level. You know, that's what we're talking about. That's going to be the big theme for 2018. We're going to talk about it all of the time. So this is just another level that we're talking about. Hey, AJ, you've been missing a lot, but you're here. Thank you for being here. Welcome to 2018. Happy New Year, bud. Another thing coming out of GPVWC is that they have a 2017 review available now. And this is actually a hardback book celebrating the teams, the drivers, the races of the 2017 season. Whether you're talking about a t-shirt to go along with your series, whether you're talking about broadcasts to go along with your series, you're talking about good timing and scoring going along with your series, just to let you know how professional. You know, look at this. This is an image from them. This doesn't look like a sim site. This looks like professional racing. And having a book at the end of the year, sure, this is going to be mainly for the people who were in the field, and then a handful of onlookers who take great interest in this level of racing. But it's just that 3D layers and layers and layers of depth to make sim racing more realistic, not just playing Forza on the console, if that makes sense to you. Next up, Need for Speed. They are talking about being on the mobile. So, there's many variations of Need for Speed. Supposedly, there's never been an NFS on the mobile. When I heard that, I racked my brain. I thought there was a Need for Speed on the mobile. But apparently, according to this article, this is going to be the first time. Need for Speed No Limits coming out on the mobile. I could see enjoying that. I play... Where is my phone? I play a handful of games on my phone, and when I'm killing time at an airport, or riding the train, or waiting for an appointment, I often play mobile games, and they're usually not driving games, but I could see Need for Speed, excuse me, being the perfect title to get me to want to play a driving game on. I mean, I think that's where it fits best, almost, to an extent. Excuse me, I was getting a little bit of dry mouth. Had to take a swig from my Simpit coffee mug. So, anyway, for Need for Speed fans and mobile platform gaming people, that's big news. And speaking of changes to a game, but Burnout Paradise, which is being remastered. Now, when I think of remastered, I think of the days of CDs, when they'd take maybe an album, an LP, and they would digitally remaster it for CD production. And it usually meant cleanup. That's what it really meant. It meant cleaning it up for the quality of a CD over the LP. And I don't know exactly what they're doing to Burnout Paradise. It's actually quite an old game at this point. But they are going to clean it up. They're going to remaster it and then regurgitate it. Remaster and re-release it on the PS4 and Xbox One. So that could be cool. I mean, Criterion did a great job with that game. There were certain aspects of Burnout Paradise that I think that if we had done a new modern sim pizza poll, that Burnout actually could make us define a few new categories because they had a completely different approach to sim racing than the typical sims that we play. So that'll be good for those on the Xbox and PS4 looking for just another game to be able to play out there. Hello, Benjamin. Happy New Year to you too, buddy. And welcome to the show. Thank you all for being here. And let's see, what else? Yeah, I was down in Trinidad this weekend and picked up a cold. Unfortunate. This is a cool story. This was sent to me by Tom, and this is just fun. Really has nothing to do with sim racing, but I've been flying drones for a long time. We've been doing this in drone world for a long time. Somebody has figured out how to make their steering wheel work with their controller to run their RC car. The guy then put a camera in the car, put his shark, like Fat Shark, I think they're called, glasses that are made, I mean, I've seen them used in the drone world all the time. So he's going to be getting a first-person image of the car driving it with a steering wheel instead of with a typical, you know, car controller. And it's sort of funny, because I've actually had the argument over the years, like, what's more of a simulation of racing, RC cars or sim racing? And you could make the argument, Fat Shark, there they are, you can make the argument that RC racing is actually a tangible vehicle that is actually on a changing surface. And that is very true and accurate to real-life racing. The only problem is you're not in the car. You're not driving by any feedback or feeling of the car. You're purely going by what you see. And prior to this type of driving, it was seeing it from a third-person position. You're looking down on the track and on the car. How much does it change? And now I'm guessing there's no such thing as force feedback in this system, but this to me is sort of how RC driving should be done for that uber realism. And if you want to take RC racing to the level that I felt that it rivaled sim racing in terms of towards that simulating real life racing, I gotta tell you, this is gonna get you a lot closer. And it would have a lot of fun. I could see this being a blast. To me, this would be 10 times more fun than just driving an RC car, which I love doing. Don't get me wrong. I've done so much RC driving and RC planes, cars. I've raced. I've done it all in the RC world. I've never done this. And yet I've flown my drone all the time, which is basically doing this with a lot less excitement. Now you can see he's not taking it all that seriously with his one-handed driving. But he might be a master of his track. His wheels moving on his desk. I don't know if you just saw that. He got it covered up pretty quickly. But, I could see this being a lot of fun. So, anyway, again, has nothing to do with sim racing. I'm sorry for the deep diversion on things. But I just thought, oh, here we go. This is the view I want to see. This is, I mean, if you're going to RC race, though, this is how it should be done. Can you imagine having a grid of, like, 10 cars, and you're actually doing some bumper-to-bumper racing? So thank you, Tom. Thank you for sending this in. Very, very cool looking video. And probably something that's within the capabilities of a lot of us sim racers that might have an RC car sitting around that we could convert over, perhaps. I don't know anything about the converting process and how you get that controller to work, but well done to him. So I used to play an RC Pro-Am, not RC Pro-Am, that was a data game. Virtual RC game that they actually gave you a controller that was identical to the pistol grip type controller you'd use for an RC car. So you could also plug a module into that car and make it work into your controller. So if you had a pro controller, you could make it work on your PC or use their generic controller on your PC to play the RC game. That was extremely realistic, by the way. So next up, I'm not going to go in great detail. Mitchie's here in the audience. This is a press release that was sent to us from Avid Chronic Racing and Zach Speed. and they have signed a new driver. His name is Risto Capit, and he has joined the team. He's going to be running with them in the GPVWC, World Series, World GT, and Masters. He is an accomplished driver and an addition to the team. And, you know, the reason I'm showing this and talking about it is, one, because Mitchie's part of our crew, and so congratulations to ACR. And number two, this image here made me think about something. It's a big deal when a Formula One driver changes teams or gets hired onto a new team. And they'll do contract signing videos, they'll do big PR events around the whole signing of a driver. And Avid Chronic, Mitchie, takes his racing and his team very, very seriously. And it's not just a handful of guys hanging out like leagues and teams used to be 5 or 10 years ago. Now it is getting to the point where it's serious business. And we can use the word serious loosely, but it is business. And having a contract means that you're with that team. And if you're going to get a driver from another team, you better get a contract from them telling them. So and the reason I'm saying this is sort of one of those firsts. I've never seen a big contract like when Carroll went over to Redline. Graham Carroll, when Graham Carroll went over to Redline, I don't remember there being a big contract signing, but that was a big pickup by that team. And something that they'd like to A, promote, B, lock down with a contract, and I think contracts are going to get more complicated too. Like, how does a team deal with prize money? If we're getting into the world of esport, we're going to have esport teams. Did the driver win, or did the team win? And those are things that are going to have to be... Right now, we're at the wild, wild west. There is no format that we're following. In real-life racing, if you were to get into real-life racing, they're going to dictate to you how it goes. Here's your contract. Here's what you can and cannot do. Here's how the money is split. All these things have been stipulated in the past from precedent. But in the case of sim racing teams and gaming contracts, this is a new horizon, and it's really open as to what and how it could play out. Anyway, I'm really babbling on about quite a few of these stories today, but again, I'm seeing a change in our industry, and some of these articles are as simple as they are. You can take them at face value, and some of them you kind of have to look a little deeper, like how much have things changed in 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 years. And I'm telling you, it's changing at an accelerated rate, and we're going to be here for the journey. And I'm real proud to be here and be part of that journey. So my last news topic of the day comes to us from Virtual GP. And this I couldn't have even talked about 19 minutes ago. So I had a embargo saying do not mention this until 9 a.m. my time. But Virtual GP announces Mercedes-Benz as its 2018 title sponsor. It's going to be 12 races, and this is a big deal. This is a big announcement. This is a big partnership. So when we talk about the future, we talk about esport, we talk about our growing professionalism in sim racing. Well, being affiliated with the likes of Porsche, Mercedes, Chevrolet, Visa, these global companies, these global names, whether they're car companies or not, are going to be a big part of what keeps us going forward at a rapid rate. Number one, they have the money, they have the marketing power, they have the name recognition, they have the ability to put us in the limelight that we could never get ourselves. If we just threw a race, great. It's like a tree falling in the woods. Did anyone hear it? But if you run a race and Mercedes or McLaren or Porsche are involved, I can promise you, you're going to have a much, much larger audience and a lot more attention and a lot more people seeing us pro drivers as heroes, which is, I think, what one of the overall goals is. So, they have an announcement video as well, so if you look up Virtual GP on YouTube, you will find the teaser video. But this is a big deal. This is some big news from them. And, you know, we've talked just in today's news about a handful of different competitions and money at stake and a lot of notoriety and fame that could follow. So, again, this is going to be a great year in sim racing. Absolutely going to be a great year in sim racing. So that is it for today's news. I don't have a whole lot more to talk about. I could bring up the map of our viewers just to show you where the pit crew, all you people, are from all over the world, as we just continue to grow the channel and grow what we're doing. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, check us out on Facebook as well, and be one of our be on that list as well. Go to the Simpit.com where you're going to find these videos, and all of our video library can be found there, as long as some other information as we start to expand on that website as well. That's in the works. And the last thing I'm going to mention, not going to mention this very often, but if you haven't already, check out our Patreon membership Patreon program, where you can be a bigger part of the pit crew. And we are all in there talking on Discord day and night. So you can get out there, meet some people, get some great inside information on not just the sim pit, but sim racing as a whole. We have some real smart people in there giving out help all the time. Anything from tuning your car to getting your system dialed in to getting a sim running at its peak level. So check out the Patreon program, see if it's something that you might benefit from as well, and get in there on Discord and chat with us and get even deeper into the sim pit and what's going on over here. So that is going to do it for today. Probably have a couple more streams coming out today. I'm not going to tell you what they are. You're just going to have to stay posted. We'll get notifications out as quickly as possible. Yeah, the iRacing VLN series is an awesome series as well. Good one to bring up, Benjamin. Absolutely. KidX, where are you? Are you not on the map? Where are you? Let me know, and I will add you to the map. And let's see, John's talking about running at Bathurst. I can tell you this weekend I'm going to be running in the Roar before the 24. Still haven't figured out. I got to figure that out today. I'm going to do a Mazda, a Mustang, or the Kia. I think I'm going to rule out the Kia because I don't really want to drive a front-wheel drive car. That takes me to the Mazda, which I love, the Miata. But at Daytona, man, is that a slow car. And then the Mustang, which I'm going to admit, if I had to pick a least favorite car in all of iRacing, it might be the Mustang. So it's kind of hard for me to want to jump into the Mustang versus the Miata, but at Daytona, the Miata is brutally slow. I also think the Miata the group or entry list is going to be humongous, which on one hand is good because it means it'll be the most prestigious one to win. And on the other hand, it's bad because it's going to be that competitive. So, Benjamin's saying Mustang, Richie's Mustang, Mustang, Mustang. Everyone's running Mustang. Looks like I might have to switch over to the Mustang. Another Mustang. All right, all right. The people have spoken. Sean Cole is now going to run and commit to a Mustang for the Roar before the 24. You guys have convinced me. So thank you very much. Thank you for being part of my decision-making process and another perk of being part of the pit crew. And I'll be streaming that race, all 2.4 hours of it. I will probably be nearly silent during the race because my new thing for 2018 during my race streams is no more trying to actually read the chat while racing. So we're going to have to take it a little more seriously because that was one of my goals. Apexes and better finishes were my two goals for 2018, and so far we're doing a good job on that, but we're going to have to keep our skills honed and our concentration levels high to really maintain that goal for the entire year. But that is one of my big goals. So anyway, that is going to do it for today's show. A lot of cool news, not all of it sim racing, but a lot of stuff to just kind of think about, and I think you can see the kind of news that we're going to be hearing about and talking about more and more for the rest of 2018. Thanks for being here. This is the Sim Pit. I'm Sean Cole, and I'll see you on the track.